Well, it has been said that in the 19th century it was important for the UK to secure the seas. In the 20th century it was important for the UK to secure the airwaves, and I think as we move into the 21st century it's vital that the UK secures cyberspace, and I think the whole area of cybersecurity is particularly a big challenge, not only for the UK but also internationally as well.
Dr. Godfrey Gaston is the Director of the Centre for Secure Information Technologies, CSIT. Safer internet surfing, combating computer viruses and cutting crime on public transport. These are just some of the areas being looked into at CSIT, which is based at Queen's University Belfast. Dr. Gaston explains more about the work of the centre.
Broadly speaking, it's in two very high-level areas. One is in information security and one is in the people or physical security. So information security would be the things like privacy of data records and network, and making sure that you're safe online, and making sure that any information is secure, and making sure viruses on the internet, making sure that children are safe online, those sorts of aspects. We broadly relate that into information security. On the people and physical security side of things, this is we typically more looking at CCTV, looking at protection of national infrastructure, making sure that the people and property are safe. But what we're seeing is more and more that the two of these are actually combining and converging. So if you look at future CCTV cameras will all be connected by the internet. So in reality, lots of cameras connected by the internet is not a lot different from lots of computers connected by the internet. So the challenges that you have in terms of data and network security for your computers are the same challenges as you would have in a physical security setting. So what we're seeing is, and one of the challenges that we're seeing is really bringing these two together in a convergent security, as we would call it, and really you need lots of skills. You need skills in software, in hardware, in high frequency, in data encryption, in network security. So to be able to solve this problem, you need a broad range of skills and being able to go across all these different disciplines. What makes us unique is really the ability to have under one roof different skill sets and working together on these larger sort of mission type problems, larger grand challenge problems as we call them, and being able to pull in people in teams and work together, not only with ourselves but also with industry and other UK universities and centres where maybe we don't have all the necessary skills to help fill some of the gaps. So I think that's the groundbreaking aspect, is being able to do something quite revolutionary across the board and across the disciplines.
One of the projects underway is looking at dramatically improving the way we use CCTV for crime prevention and detection on public transport, as researcher Dr. Paul Miller explains.
Current CCTV systems are basically passive in nature, in that what they simply do is they record data which is stored in very, very large video databases. So most of the data isn't looked at or analysed or anything. What sometimes happens is that maybe after several days the police might report an incident and come looking for some of the video of a particular incident. But the problem with that is it's after the fact. What we're trying to do is transform CCTV into an active technology that can alert security analysts of police to a particular incident that may be occurring or about to occur, so that they can try and prevent the crime or the assault that's occurring. So I would say that's a major focus of our work, this idea of taking passive technology and turning it into something active so that it can prevent crime. One of the other things we use are crime statistics of areas and also the time of day. So for example, you may have a situation where you have on the upper deck of a bus at a particular time, say Friday night, 11 o'clock at night, you notice maybe that 3 of the people get up and start to move towards another passenger who may be the only passenger on the upper deck. At that point, the system may decide that the threat assessment here is high. It can start streaming the video back to the security analyst. He can then, or she, make a decision as to whether or not a potential assault is about to occur, and decide to intervene and ask them to move back to their seats. So that could be an instance where it could prevent an assault occurring, basically.
Another project, led by Dr. Shakir Caesar, is looking at ways of making internet surfing significantly safer.
One of the areas of research which is coming out of our previous research within the system on a chip is technologies that will accelerate security processing. And the research in this field was covering all the encryption, decryption type hardware that has been done, and also processing technology that can analyze content defined in a language exactly what you're looking for. We believe these two technologies are essential to give the necessary performance and computing power to the internet to make internet a safer place. This technology can analyze, for example, in a chat room, if somebody been groomed, the way how the person is talking, the wording he's using. You can write a rule defining certain grammar and use of certain words that is specific without really writing out sentences that pedophiles would use, or even raise alarm saying this is not the type of language that a child would use, or the pattern that he's trying to communicate with individuals within the chat room fast and trying to chat and trying to really push or bully. This nature can be flagged out by writing comprehensive rules, by looking the patterns of individuals accessing the internet and isolating by flagging potential pedophiles. We believe this technology will allow not only passive after event analysis of the log files by looking, yes, this was a guy who has been doing this, but doing it online directly when it's happened, even flagging to the provider of such chat rooms saying, yeah, this is a flagged yellow, this is flagged red, this individual seems to not fit in this environment or have started conversation that is not appropriate for this chat room.
A vital part of the work at CSIT involves turning the research into real benefits for society and the economy, as Dr. Godfrey Gaston explains.
The measure of success, as far as we're concerned, for CSIT will be based on not just the quality of the research, that will be important, but also the outputs in terms of commercialisation and knowledge transfer. That might be in spin-out companies, that could be licensing deals, that could be maybe training people from industry in terms of and developing skills and doing career development for industrial employees. One example of the commercialisation is actually the creation of a spin-out company, Titan IC Systems. And really what we're trying to do there is to take the research but to take it into a much more commercial domain. So what Titan is involved in is really looking at the next generation internet, making sure that it's the traffic is free from viruses, free from malware, and essentially that changing the whole model of the internet. The requirement there is to have very high-speed processors that are able to essentially filter out all this the unwanted content and identify unwanted content on the internet. So to do that at the minute, it's not possible. We need to have much faster processors. So that's one example of a company that has spun out of the university, and we see hopefully many more companies like that spinning out and being able to make it in the commercial world. I think it's important for companies typically want to do business with other companies. They don't typically want to do business with universities. That's not what universities are typically good at. So I think that's important to be able to spin out these companies and to have the mechanisms in place and processes in place to help with that.
The new multi-million-pound centre is funded by the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, the Technology Strategy Board, Queen's University Belfast and a range of partner organisations. You can find out more about the Centre for Secure Information Technologies at the Queen's University Belfast website.